It's the story fans never get tired of hearing, but this time it hits harder than ever. Eminem, the man who built an empire on pain, truth, and raw emotion, has always worn his heart on his sleeve when it came to one person: his daughter, Hailiejade. But what happens when the private moments between a father and daughter, moments that shaped both of their lives, finally come to light? Sources close to the family claim that unseen footage, private recordings, and letters reveal the most vulnerable side of Eminem the world has never seen, showing his heartbreak, guilt, and desperate love for Hailie during the darkest chapters of his fame. From tearful phone calls to late-night visits, and even secret songs never meant for the public. These are the moments that show the real Slim Shady, the father who'd give up everything for his daughter. But as these stories surface, fans are divided. Some call it the most human side of Eminem ever revealed. Others say it's proof that fame has left scars that even family couldn't heal. Emotions ran high. The internet exploded, and for the first time in years, Hailie herself broke her silence, leaving fans in tears. But what exactly happened behind closed doors between Eminem and his daughter? And what truths are finally being exposed about their bond after decades of silence? This is the emotional story you were never supposed to hear, the untold journey of Eminem and Hailie, a love tested by fame, addiction, and redemption. Stay tuned, because once you hear this, you'll never look at Eminem the same again. Before the world knew him as the rap god, Marshall Mathers was just a kid from Detroit, broke, angry, and chasing a dream that felt impossible. But when Hailiejade was born on Christmas Day in 1995, everything changed. Friends close to Eminem say that's the day Marshall was born, not Slim Shady. He went from chasing fame to chasing stability. But that balance didn't last long, because fame came crashing in faster than anyone could have imagined. By the time the Slim Shady LP dropped in 1999, Eminem had gone from a struggling rapper to a worldwide sensation. But with success came chaos. Court battles with Kim, tabloid headlines, and nights fueled by stress, rage, and pills. Through it all, one thing remained his anchor: Hailie. Fans remember how often he'd shout her out in his lyrics: "Hailie, I love you, baby," even while painting a picture of a world that seemed far from safe for a little girl. But behind the bars and platinum records was a broken father trying to protect his child from a life he barely understood himself. One insider once recalled an emotional night after Eminem's performance on the Up in Smoke tour. He came backstage, sat down, and just broke down crying. He said, "Man, I can't believe my daughter's growing up without me around. I'm working for her, but I'm never there for her." That was the beginning of what friends now call Eminem's emotional unraveling, because as Slim Shady grew stronger, Marshall grew weaker. Every song, every award, every feud pulled him further away from what really mattered. And that's when the emotional toll started to show. Sources close to M say there were nights when he'd stay up for 48 hours straight, rewatching old home videos of Hailie running around their Detroit home, while he sat surrounded by prescription bottles and unfinished lyrics. People think the Slim Shady persona was just art, one former friend explained. But it was a mask. Underneath that anger was guilt. Guilt for not being the dad he wanted to be. When Mockingbird released in 2004, fans felt it. That was no rap. That was a letter. Every line was soaked in truth, pain, and love. "Hailie, I know you miss your mom, and I know you miss your dad." Those weren't just lyrics. They were confessions. And the public could feel the tears behind the pen. But what fans didn't know is that the story behind Mockingbird is darker than anyone realized. According to insiders, the song was recorded after an explosive argument between Eminem and Kim that ended with Hailie being sent to stay with her grandmother. He didn't sleep for 3 days, the source says. He just sat in his studio writing. He was crying while recording that track. You could hear it in his voice. Even Dr. Dre allegedly told him, "Man, you don't gotta put that much of your soul into it." But M replied, "If I don't, then what's the point?" That's the thing about Eminem. He never faked emotion. But it came at a cost. Hailie grew up not just as a daughter, but as the subject of a legend. Kids at school would quote her dad's bars. Reporters would chase her mother for interviews, and even teachers treated her differently. By her teens, she'd seen her father on magazine covers, on stage with 50 Cent, and in the middle of public feuds with some of the biggest names in hip-hop. But what the cameras didn't see were the nights Hailie called her father in tears, asking why people online called her names she didn't even understand. And every time Marshall would try to explain how fame works, How people twist words, how Slim Shady was just a character. Still, she was a kid. And for a kid, none of that made sense. One story from a close family friend paints the picture perfectly. There was this time when Hailie came home from school crying because someone said her dad was crazy and violent. Em pulled her into the studio, showed her his notebook, and said, "See this? This is where the crazy goes. This is how I get it out so it doesn't hurt anyone." It was a powerful lesson, but it also showed how much Hailie had to grow up faster than most. By the mid-2000s, things spiraled. Eminem's addiction took over, his marriage collapsed, and his mental health hit rock bottom. He nearly lost his life in 2007 after an overdose, and that's when reality hit. Friends say Hailie visited him in the hospital. When she walked in, he couldn't even look at her. One insider shared, "He just kept saying, 'I'm sorry, baby. I'm so sorry.'" That was the moment he decided to change. That moment became a turning point, not just for Eminem's career, but for his soul. Because from that point on, everything he did, every album, every verse, every headline, had one goal: redemption. Still, even after getting clean, the wounds between father and daughter didn't just disappear. Fame doesn't stop at rehab's door. And while Eminem tried to make up for lost time, Hailie had already grown into a young woman with her own identity, her own world. One that didn't always have room for the shadow of Slim Shady, but the emotional connection between them never broke. Fans could see it every time he mentioned her in interviews, every time he smiled when her name came up, and every time he performed Mockingbird live, eyes closed, holding back tears, and then came the letter. A source claims that before Eminem's 2013 comeback with the Marshall Mathers LP2, he wrote a handwritten letter to Hailie, a private message meant to clear every wound between them. The letter allegedly read, "You saved my life more times than you'll ever know. Every lyric, every show, it was all for you. I just hope one day you'll understand the man behind the mic." But that letter was never meant to go public. And yet somehow, it did. Leaked online by a mysterious insider, it sent fans into a frenzy. Some called it the most touching side of Eminem ever revealed. Others said it was too personal, accusing whoever leaked it of violating his trust. Still, for the first time, the world saw what Eminem's music had only hinted at: the heart of a father who'd sacrificed everything, and the daughter who held his redemption. But the story doesn't end there. Because just when fans thought the bond between Eminem and Hailie had healed completely, something unexpected surfaced. When Hailiejade Mathers launched her podcast, Just a Little Shady, fans thought it would be lighthearted, a space to talk about growing up famous, fashion, and her life outside her father's shadow. But nobody expected what would come next, because within just a few episodes, things got emotional. It started subtly. Hailie joked about how her dad was overprotective, mentioning that he used to drive me to school in a hoodie and sunglasses like he was in witness protection. Fans laughed. Even Eminem's supporters thought it was adorable, a glimpse into their father-daughter bond. But then came episode 5, the one that changed everything. The title alone sent waves across social media: Growing Up Shady. In that episode, Hailie opened up in a way she never had before. Her voice cracked as she talked about watching her dad go through things no child should have to see. She didn't name names. She didn't call him out directly. But the tone said everything. It's hard when the person the world loves the most is also the person you saw at their lowest, she said, pausing for a deep breath. There were nights I didn't know if he'd wake up in the morning. The internet froze. Clips spread across TikTok like wildfire. Fans were divided. Some praised Hailie for finally speaking her truth. Others accused her of disrespecting her father, the same man who dedicated his entire discography to her. And within hours, Just a Little Shady started trending. One fan tweeted, "Eminem gave her everything. Now she's exposing him for content? That's wild." Another fired back, "She's not exposing him. She's healing." But behind the scenes, the tension was real. A close family insider told us Eminem wasn't mad. He was hurt. He watched that episode alone in his studio. He didn't yell, didn't rant. He just sat there in silence, listening to every word. And that silence said more than any diss track ever could. For the first time, the world saw the emotional divide between father and daughter. Two people connected by love, but scarred by fame. Eminem reportedly called Hailie that same night. The The conversation, according to an anonymous source, lasted less than 5 minutes. He simply said, "I heard it. I get it. But damn, that hurt." Hailie allegedly replied, "Dad, I wasn't trying to hurt you. I was trying to heal me." It was a line that shook him to his core, because for decades he had used music to heal. Now his daughter was doing the same. But the wounds she was healing were the ones he caused. That's when rumors started swirling that Eminem had written a new song, not a diss, not a hit but a letter, called Father's Eyes. It was never officially released, but a leak reportedly circulated among insiders at Shady Records. The lyrics, according to those who heard it, were haunting. "I see my pain in my daughter's eyes, reflections of a past I tried to hide. She grew up with my chaos and lullabies. Now she's the truth I can't deny." If that leak was real, it would have been the rawest track Eminem had recorded since Headlights. But the world wouldn't get to hear it, because he scrapped the song entirely. Instead, a week later, fans noticed something subtle but powerful. Eminem followed Hailie's podcast account on Instagram. No caption, no comment, just a follow. That tiny gesture broke the internet. Thousands of fans flooded her comment section with support. "This is real growth," one fan wrote. "The man who once used music to vent his demons is now learning to listen." But just when things seemed to calm down, the story took another twist. During a later episode, Hailie mentioned that she once found her dad writing letters he never sent. The internet went crazy. Was she talking about the letter that leaked years ago? The one that fans believed was meant for her? She never clarified. Instead, she looked directly into the camera and said, "Some words are meant to stay between family." That line reignited the entire debate, because while it sounded poetic, it also hinted that there were more secrets behind the Mathers family than the public ever knew. And sure enough, days later, an old friend of Eminem's, a former D12 member who asked to remain anonymous, revealed that the tension between Em and Hailie wasn't new. They love each other, man. But there's history. Stuff nobody talks about. The world sees the songs, but they don't see the silence. That silence became the emotional centerpiece of fan theories online. YouTubers started breaking down every Hailie post, every lyric from Eminem's last 2 albums, every podcast episode, looking for clues about their relationship, even rap. Daily made a viral post titled "Eminem and Hailie: The Unspoken Story." The comment section exploded with speculation. One viewer wrote, "You can tell Hailie's trying to find herself outside her dad's legend. That's deep." Another wrote, "Imagine being raised by Slim Shady. Of course she got stories." Meanwhile, Eminem kept quiet. No interviews. No tweets, just music. Insiders claim he's been working on something special, a new project that would close the chapter on the Slim Shady legacy once and for all. And that's where things start getting interesting, because apparently, one of the songs references a podcast mic, a broken mirror, and a voice that sounds like mine but speaks her truth. Fans are convinced he's talking about Hailie again, but here's the twist. Hailie hasn't responded publicly. According to her co-host, she's taking time off from the show to focus on family. That announcement dropped quietly, but it spoke volumes, because for the first time in a long time, both Hailie and her dad were doing the same thing, stepping back from the spotlight. And when the cameras turned off, the healing began. Sources say they recently reconnected in Detroit. Hailie visited her dad at his home studio, the same one where he recorded Mockingbird. They reportedly sat for hours just talking. No producers, no cameras, no noise, just father and daughter. She told him she wasn't angry, a source revealed. She just needed him to understand what her childhood felt like, and he did. He really did. For the first time, Eminem wasn't Slim Shady or the rap god. He was just Marshall, a dad trying to make things right. But that peaceful reunion wouldn't last long. Because not everyone in the circle was happy about their emotional truce, just when it seemed like things were finally peaceful between Eminem and Hailie. The internet did what it does best. It blew everything up. It all started with a mysterious clip that surfaced on Reddit. A 45-second voice memo allegedly recorded during one of Eminem and Hailie's private conversations at the Detroit studio. No one knows who leaked it. But the voice? The tone? The pain? It sounded too real to ignore. You could hear Eminem's unmistakable rasp, tired but vulnerable. And Hailie's voice, soft, shaking, like she'd been holding back years of emotion. it started calm. Then suddenly, it wasn't. "You think I wasn't there for you," Eminem's voice said. "But I was fighting my demons every damn day just to be here." Then came Hailie's reply, the one that sent social media into meltdown. "I know, Dad, but sometimes it felt like I was the reason you were fighting them." That one sentence hit the internet like a thunderclap. Fans flooded Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube trying to analyze every word, every pause. Some said it was fake, an AI-generated clip made to stir controversy. Others swore it was real, that the tone, the emotion, the awkward pauses, only a real father and daughter could sound that raw. Within hours, dark Eminem leaks started trending worldwide. One post read, "I've never heard M sound like that. That's not Slim Shady, that's Marshall." Another said, "If this is real, this is the most heartbreaking moment in his career." Even mainstream media outlets jumped in. TMZ, Complex, and The Shade Room all ran stories. Fans and critics were divided. Was it a deepfake, a PR stunt, or a betrayal from someone inside the family circle? Because according to insiders, the recording was never meant to leave that studio. A close source to the Mathers family told us, that was a real private conversation. Someone who was there recorded it on their phone. M was devastated when he found out. And when we say devastated, we mean it. Eminem reportedly locked himself in his home studio for days, refusing to take calls. He felt violated. This wasn't about fame anymore. This was about family. But the internet doesn't slow down for healing. Podcasters, YouTubers, and influencers turned the leaked memo into content gold. They replayed it, reacted to it, broke it down frame by frame. Some even accused Hailie of leaking it herself which only added fuel to the fire. Comments like, "She's doing this for clout. This is why he kept her out of the spotlight. They're both human. Let them be." The divide was brutal. Meanwhile, Hailie stayed silent. She didn't post, didn't respond, just disappeared. Her podcast Instagram went dark. Sponsors quietly backed away. One brand even paused their collaboration, citing family privacy concerns. And that's when Eminem did something no one expected. He broke his silence. At 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday, he posted a single message to X, formerly Twitter. When you love somebody, you don't always get it right, but you never stop trying. No hashtags, no promo. Just that, it was short, it was raw, and it hit fans straight in the chest. The tweet went viral instantly, racking up millions of likes and retweets. Celebrities started chiming in too. 50 Cent commented, "That's real love, bro. Family over everything." Rihanna liked the post. Even Dr. Dre reportedly called him that night. But behind the viral sympathy, there was still chaos brewing, because a few hours later, a full 2-minute version of the leaked memo hit the internet. And this time, it included something fans weren't ready for. At the end of the recording, Eminem's voice broke as he said, "Hailie, if I could go back and rewrite every song, every word that hurt you, I would. But the only way I knew how to love was through pain." And then you hear Hailie whisper, barely audible, "Then maybe pain was our love language." The line echoed like poetry, tragic, beautiful, devastating. Within minutes, clips flooded TikTok with emotional captions like, "This isn't just music anymore. This is real life." And Hailie said what every child of a broken home feels. But what most people didn't know was that this leak might have come from someone inside the studio team. An anonymous engineer allegedly told Rap Report TV, "There was only a handful of people in that session. If that audio got out, it came from someone close. Somebody they trusted." That betrayal hit Eminem hard. Sources say he cut ties with nearly everyone involved in that session. The mood inside Shady Records went dark. Trust was gone. But in a strange twist, the emotional chaos brought father and daughter closer again. The day after the full leak, Hailie was seen arriving at her dad's mansion in Rochester Hills. Paparazzi caught photos of her car in the driveway. No smiles. No PR stunt, just family, an insider told us. He didn't yell. He didn't blame her. He just hugged her. They both cried. For once, it wasn't about music or fame. It was about forgiveness. And yet, the damage had been done. The leak reignited public curiosity about Eminem's darker years, addiction, depression, custody battles, and how all of it shaped Hailie's childhood. It was like the ghosts of recovery and relapse had come back to life. Some fans even started a petition asking him to officially release the Father's Eyes song as closure. But insiders said Eminem refused. "He doesn't want to turn this pain into profit," said one source. "This is between him and her." Still, the speculation wouldn't stop. In the weeks that followed, online sleuths began digging through old lyrics, finding new meaning in old lines. From Mockingbird to Castle, fans connected dots that painted a heartbreaking picture. Eminem had always been apologizing through his music. He just never said it out loud. And now, thanks to one leaked voice memo, the world finally heard what the music had been trying to say all along. But the story wasn't over yet, because just when the world thought the Mathers family drama had finally settled, shocking new twist emerged. A private letter, allegedly written by Eminem to Hailie when she was 18, appeared for sale on a celebrity memorabilia website. The seller claimed it was authenticated by a former employee at Aftermath Entertainment. Fans went crazy. Some called it a cash grab. Others believed it was the missing piece. The letter Eminem once said he wrote but never sent, and this letter would change everything. It was a quiet Friday morning when the internet lost its mind again. A listing popped up on a celebrity memorabilia auction site titled, "Unsent Letter by Eminem to his daughter Hailie. Authentic, never before seen." The starting bid? $25,000. The alleged date on the letter, April 18, 2014. The description claimed it was discovered by a former studio employee who worked at Eminem's private recording space, The Shelter, the same studio where Mockingbird Revisited was rumored to have been recorded but never released. At first, nobody believed it. Another internet stunt, right? But when screenshots of the letter started spreading, fans froze. The handwriting matched Marshall Mathers' unmistakable scrawl. Every slanted letter, every messy loop, every crossed-out line screamed authenticity. The first line alone was enough to break hearts across the world. "I don't know how to tell you this without sounding like I'm saying sorry again, but everything I built was to protect you, even when it didn't look like it." From that moment, the internet went silent for once. This wasn't the angry, defiant Eminem from diss tracks or interviews. This was a father bleeding through ink. A man stripped of his stage name, stripped of his armor, just dad. The letter went on. "You were my reason to wake up when I didn't want to. Every concert, every verse, every headline, I was chasing a version of me you could be proud of. But somewhere in the chase, I forgot how to just be your father." That line hit hard. Fans started connecting dots again. Was this written after Hailie went off to college? Or after one of their rumored arguments? Nobody knew, but it didn't matter, because the emotion was undeniable. And then came the part that had everyone talking. "When you were little, you used to sit outside the studio door with crayons and tell me you were writing your own songs. I told you to never stop. Now you're grown, and I'm realizing those crayons were your way of asking me to come out and play. I should have listened. The pain, the guilt, the rawness, it was all there." Fans said it read like a goodbye, a final confession from a father who had already said everything through music, but still had something left unsaid. Within 24 hours, screenshots of the letter hit every major platform. TikToks with emotional piano music, YouTube essays dissecting every line, reaction videos from fans crying mid-read. The hashtag #Eminem letter to Hailie exploded. 120 million views in less than 48 hours. Celebrities joined the wave too. Billie Eilish posted a clip of herself saying, "This broke me. That's not a rapper talking, that's a dad." Even Kanye, of all people, tweeted, "Respect. That's the realest thing I've read in years." But the drama didn't stop there, because the seller, who remained anonymous, claimed there were 2 pages to the letter, and the second page was never released publicly. Fans begged to see it. Forums lit up. Theories flew. Some said the second page held a secret verse. Others believed it contained something Eminem never wanted Hailie to read. But then, something unexpected happened. Hailie broke her silence. After weeks of silence following the leaked voice memo, she finally spoke. Not on her podcast, not through an interview, but on her Instagram story. It was a single black screen with white text. I've read it. I forgive him. That's all anyone needs to know. That one sentence set off a storm. Fans were in tears. The internet for once wasn't clowning. It was quiet. And then Eminem posted something himself. An old photo. Black and white. Grainy, probably from the early 2000s. A picture of him holding Hailie as a toddler in the studio, headphones on her tiny head. The caption read, "All I ever wanted was for her to know I tried." That post broke Instagram. Millions of comments. Thousands of artists showing love. Scent commented, "Full circle." Dr. Dre dropped a simple heart emoji. Snoop Dogg reposted it with the caption, "Family always finds its way home." But even with all that love, something deeper lingered beneath the surface. Because if you looked closely at the bottom of the letter, barely visible under the folds of paper, there was a line scribbled out but still faintly readable. Fans zoomed in and enhanced it. It read, "If this ever sees the light of day, it means I didn't get to say it in person." That line sparked a brand new wave of theories. Some said it was written during one of his lowest points, maybe when he relapsed. Others claimed it was meant to be kept sealed forever, only to be opened if something happened to him. It didn't matter which theory you believed. The meaning was clear. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This was a man confronting his own ghost, and after all these years, Hailie wasn't the little girl from Mockingbird anymore. She was the woman who finally saw her father not as a legend, but as a human being. Broken, flawed, but still trying. In an emotional twist, a few days later, Hailie uploaded a 3-second clip to her story, her hand, wearing the same bracelet Eminem gave her when she graduated, resting on a music sheet, no caption. Just a faint piano melody in the background. Fans instantly speculated, is Hailie writing a song about her dad? One fan tweeted, "If Hailie drops a track about her dad, the internet will explode." Another said, "That's how healing starts, through music." That's how healing starts, through music. But still had something left unsaid. Within 24 hours, screenshots of the letter hit every major platform. TikToks with emotional piano music, YouTube essays dissecting every line, reaction videos from fans crying mid-read. The hashtag #IWeAreEminem letter to Hailie exploded, 120 million views in less than 48 hours. Celebrities joined the wave too. Billie Eilish posted a clip of herself saying, "This broke me." That's not a rapper talking, that's a dad. Even Kanye, of all people, tweeted, "Respect." That's the realest thing I've read in years. But the drama didn't stop there. Because the seller, who remained anonymous, claimed there were 2 pages to the letter, and the second page was never released publicly. Fans begged to see it. Forums lit up. Theories flew. Some said the second page held a secret verse. Others believed it contained something Eminem never wanted Hailie to read. But then, something unexpected happened. Hailie broke her silence. After weeks of silence following the leaked voice memo, she finally spoke. Not on her podcast, not through an interview, but on her Instagram story, it was a single black screen with white text. I've read it. I forgive him. That's all anyone needs to know. That one sentence set off a storm. Fans were in tears. The internet for once wasn't clowning. It was quiet. And then Eminem posted something himself. An old photo, black and white. Grainy, probably from the early 2000s. A picture of him holding Hailie as a toddler in the studio, headphones on her tiny head. The caption read, "All I ever wanted was for her to know I tried." That post broke Instagram. Millions of comments. Thousands of artists showing love. And Scent commented, "Full circle." Dr. Dre dropped a simple heart emoji. Snoop Dogg reposted it with the caption, "Family always finds its way home." But even with all that love, something deeper lingered beneath the surface. Because if you looked closely at the bottom of the letter, barely visible under the folds of paper, there was a line scribbled out but still faintly readable. Fans zoomed in and enhanced it. It read, "If this ever sees the light of day, it means I didn't get to say it in person." That line sparked a brand new wave of theories. Some said it was written during one of his lowest points, maybe when he relapsed. Others claimed it was meant to be kept sealed forever, only to be opened if something happened to him. It didn't matter which theory you believed. The meaning was clear. This wasn't a publicity stunt. This was a man confronting his own ghost, and after all these years, Hailie wasn't the little girl from Mockingbird anymore. She was the woman who finally saw her father not as a legend, but as a human being. Broken, flawed, but still trying. In an emotional twist, a few days later, Hailie uploaded a 3-second clip to her story, her hand wearing the same bracelet Eminem gave her when she graduated, resting on a music sheet, no caption. just a faint piano melody in the background. Fans instantly speculated, is Hailie writing a song about her dad? One fan tweeted, if Hailie drops a track about her dad, the internet will explode. Another said, that's how healing starts, and through music. The media tried to get statements from both sides, but neither responded. Insiders claimed Eminem had started recording again, something deeply personal, almost like a sequel to Mockingbird. A producer close to Shady Records told us, this ain't about sales or charts. This is about closure. Marshall's putting his heart on wax one last time, and when asked if Hailie was involved, the source paused before saying, let's just say, she's not the little girl outside the studio anymore. That line alone sent fans into chaos. Could this be the first ever father-daughter collaboration from one of the most private families in hip-hop history? Nothing's confirmed yet, but insiders say there's already a working title, Echoes of You. The title alone has fans bracing for another emotional masterpiece, because if you think about it, it all comes full circle. From the days of Mockingbird, where Eminem rapped about protecting her from pain, to 2025, where Hailie finally sees the man behind the legend. This story isn't about fame, drama, or leaks anymore. It's about forgiveness, growth, family, and the reminder that sometimes the hardest battles aren't fought on stage. They're fought at home, and there you have it, the emotional roller coaster that has everyone talking. From leaked voice memos to unsent letters, Eminem and Hailie's relationship has proven one thing: behind the fame, behind the legacy, there's still just a father and daughter trying to find peace. But here's where it gets wild. Sources say the upcoming project Echoes of You could drop without warning, the same way Beyoncé or Drake do with surprise albums. If that happens, it'll mark a historic moment, the official musical reunion of the Mathers family. Fans are already preparing to stream it into oblivion. But others are asking the deeper question: can the world finally let Eminem and Hailie heal in peace? Because no matter how many records he breaks or how many lyrics he writes, one truth remains: Marshall Mathers isn't just Slim Shady. He's still a dad, trying to make things right. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Was that letter real? Do you believe the leaked audio was genuine or just another setup? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if this story hit you in the feels. And don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive deep dives into the wild world of music and fame. Because trust me, the next chapter of Eminem's story might be the most emotional one yet.